Good afternoon, Washington. This is Lisa Hendricks from parkbench.com, and today I'm sitting here with Bridgette Kelch. Hi, Bridgette. How are you?
Hi, good.
Bridgette is the executive director of Downtown Washington, Inc., and they're located at 123 Lafayette Street here in Washington. So, Bridgette, I'm sure everybody's curious. We know your persona behind Downtown Washington, Inc., but tell us about yourself. Like, where do you come from? How did you get here?
Well, I was born and raised in Washington, so went through the Washington School District. Then I went to East Central, and then I went to Southeast Missouri State University. I got my bachelor's degree in historic preservation. Looking for a job, as we all do after college, and really thought I was going to work in a museum, but ended up applying for the job at Downtown Washington because my dad knew of them. He worked for the city, and he's like, they like old things like you do, and they're offering health insurance. So, you know, as we all
deal breaker, right?
Right. So I applied, and thankfully they hired me. And I started in the very beginning of 2001 with them. So got hired at the end of 2000 and then started in I think February of 01, and then I never left. So I fell in love with what we do here, and so as far as the museum goes, I get to work with our historical society in that museum, but I also kind of view downtown as just a giant outdoor museum.
It is too. So I've been here 10 years, and I think I was so impressed with Washington and the number of events that go on in this town. It is crazy. And I know that's part of what Downtown Washington Inc. does. Can you explain what other roles?
Yeah, so besides the 30 plus events that we put on in a year, from something very small to a very large festival, we actually do quite a few other things. But I think the events are what people know of because they see them a lot.
Right.
It's what our public face a lot of the times. But what we are is a Main Street program. The city of Washington adopted this grassroots approach in 1989. So actually next year will be 30 years of us following the downtown revitalization program put forth by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And so they look at downtown with four groups. And so first is design, how downtown looks and feels, the aesthetics of it, the physical maintenance of the buildings, the economics of downtown, business retention and recruitment, financial incentives, ways to help businesses and property owners be stronger. Organization is another key part, and what they do is fundraising, so they get to keep the lights on and all that good stuff. But another big piece for them is volunteers. So recruiting, retaining, and keeping our volunteers happy. It's almost everything we do is run by volunteers. So absolutely essential for us to have our daily operations and all those fun festivals and events that people like to attend. And then of course our promotions committee is the last of the 4 points, and they do, not only do they do special events, but we do retail events specifically done just to make the registers ring downtown, and then image things such as a website and all the things that we keep updating.
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of business owners, as you know, and I think one of the things I've heard the most is that they're really happy with the support that they receive from Downtown Washington.
Oh,
so,
yay.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Good.
So what else? I'm sure there's other things that you're involved in that people don't realize. So what else is Downtown Washington Inc. involved in?
Well, we are property owners, so we do own the oldest standing structure in town, which is an 1834 log cabin at 2nd and Jefferson. Started out to being our office, and then since since 2014 or end of 2013, it's been a guest house. It's called Godfrey's Cabin. So we actually run a short-term lodging cabin. Yeah, so we rent it out on weekends or weekdays, and the revenue from that just support continuing the programs that we already do. Also, we own and run the downtown post office. So if you want to do a good deed, you can come downtown and buy your stamps and ship your packages, because we get to keep 20% of that. So we aren't postal employees, but it costs the same. It's no more expensive to come here than it is to go to the one on the highway. So if you buy your stamps or ship your packages, or even if you drop off your return parcels that already have postage on them, or if you click and ship, do eBay or Etsy, if you drop those off, we actually get credit for them. And so it's like making a donation that doesn't cost you anything.
Oh, I did not know that.
So yeah, we own those two buildings. And we also own the farmers market structure on Main Street. So we own that, and we lease the first floor back to the city. And then the second and third floor, we lease out as apartments. So, and then we have a tenant here in the post office as well. So we are pretty multifaceted. We have a sister organization called the Historic Washington Foundation that we work very closely with. So actually, I guess I have I end up with 21 board of directors, and so 21 bosses, which is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. My husband and I recently became friends of downtown Washington.
Yeah.
Can you explain how that works and what that means?
Yeah, so a lot of businesses are investors in the organization, and so several years ago, we, just residents and people that maybe don't necessarily have a business or property downtown, they asked for a way to be supportive. So we came up with the Friends of Downtown program, in which you joined in on, and so it is just a donation at whatever level you choose to be at. But if you choose to be at the $100 or higher each year, there's some fun little perks that come with that, like you get to buy tickets early to our wildly popular farm to table dinner, which
I'm going.
Yeah, not this week but next Thursday.
I'm excited.
Our murder mystery dinner, and so you get a newsletter, so you're going to get to keep up to date on everything that's happening in the downtown district, and it's just a way for folks that want to support the goals and the process that we have.
Well, you guys are doing some great things here, and I personally appreciate it, and I know Washington appreciates it too. So thank you so much, Bridgette, for letting me interview you and sharing what you do here.
Yeah, if people want to stay up to date with us and all the wild and crazy things that we do downtown and the great businesses that are already here and that are continue to open the downtown district, we have a really active social media profile, so you can definitely find us on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook. Our handle is Downtown Washmo, and of course our website is downtownwashmo.org.
Great. Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure.